Welcome to Integrated Health of Indiana's YouTube page, and today we have the pleasure of meeting
Albert Storms.
and Albert has decided that he will give us a testimonial. And if you want to start over at any time, I'll do that, and I can cut pieces out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No problem.
So Albert, how long have you been a patient at the clinic?
Wow. Really, for a long time. I've had some back issues that date way back, probably about 10 years. You got me back on my feet. And then just prior to COVID, my back went out again. I was in a wheelchair for a couple days, and you got me in and got me back on my feet, back to work. And so here we are today after, going through COVID and so forth. And I recently had the vitamin immunity treatment here, and that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, but I got to always give a plug to chiropractic. That's my primary. With that being said, so what interested you in doing the immunity IV with the glutathione?
Well, I had COVID prior, back in December 5th. I came down with COVID, and they basically said I would be good until like March 5th. And so in the month of February, I noticed that you had this process. And so I asked some questions, and I got some questions answered. And I figured since my basic, COVID immunity was coming to a deadline, I should probably go ahead and look at this. And I talked to my wife about it, and she gave me permission. And so
Always smart to get the significant other's permission.
So I figured I'd go ahead and give it a shot with my immunity situation, especially being a diabetic and trying to keep my sugars under control. And I had the infusion when I did have COVID, so the infusion was to keep me safe until March 5th. So then this vitamin treatment interested me, and I wanted to give it a shot.
And how did you do? What symptoms were you suffering from, or were you having any symptoms?
Tired. Since COVID, I was just beat. I would struggle throughout the day. I've been taking naps like every afternoon, those type of things. I really have had a hard time getting my energy back. I started taking some protein drinks, which helped a little bit, but I was looking for something to kind of like recharge my system. And I just felt like COVID sucked the life out of me, because it just, even getting off of work at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was going home and taking naps for an hour, hour and a half, before getting back on my feet, and then I would feel better. But I didn't like the fact that I was getting tired.
And so after the infusion, how did you do?
Well, it was really interesting, because I kept on waking up expecting to like jump out of bed and I'm going to go run 3 miles and so forth. But what really happened was realizing I didn't need naps. I had the energy. I didn't feel like I could run 600 miles, but come 3 o'clock, I was like, hey, so it wasn't so much feeling like I was Superman, I was realizing I wasn't feeling bad. I'm going, I'm still awake.
Well, and that's one of the things about vitamins. That's one thing about the way that we actually approach health here. It's about helping the body naturally and boosting your own natural stuff. And so it's not like we hit you with a bunch of testosterone or adrenaline, where you feel bulletproof. But yeah, it's bringing those natural systems about. And honestly, the IVs for a lot of people, actually, we have yet to have anybody, I'm knocking on wood over here.
Yeah, there you go.
Not have positive side effects or effects of that. So
Yeah.
I've been really impressed with how they've done. So what was your experience with Jessica in the IV lounge?
Well, she was very professional. She didn't bruise me. That's always a good thing. I mean, a lot of times I'll go to a hospital or something and get blood drawn, and there's big giant black mark on my arm. But no, she found the veins and got it in there. It was a very calming situation. She was really personable. And kind of, kept your mind going and distracted. So I don't like looking at needles. I'm really squeamish. So she definitely kept me distracted so I wouldn't look down and everything. So she kept talking to me and I would talk to her, and it was just a very positive experience in that realm.
Did you end up falling asleep in there?
You bet your bottom dollar I did.
There's so many people that just, it's like the only time, and they're like, I never fall asleep, or
Oh yeah, no, I fell asleep and had a very good rest. And the needles, I love the needles. I've always been a fan of needles anyway.
Well,
the ones that you put in my face.
Yeah, the acupuncture.
The acupuncture needles.
So with all of that being said, would you do it again?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would do it again. I was actually, when I came in today, I was like, is this something that I do quarterly, that type of thing? Or, is it like twice a year, once a year?
What the research shows on those things is they last about 3 to 4 weeks where we can see the elevated numbers.
Mm-hmm.
If you've released body burden, which that's the whole idea, is to let the liver catch up.
Right.
And allow the body to start to produce its own energy. The liver produces the ketones and the glucose and stuff that your body runs on. And so you have evidently gotten to that point to where, you're not taking naps, are you?
No.
And that's been over a month ago.
No. But oddly enough, because we talk a lot about diet and stuff, when I eat stuff I know I shouldn't eat, I pay the price.
Everybody does. Some of us just don't feel it.
Yeah. No, I'm going, yeah, Doc told me about that. So I'm even catching that now of certain things that I'll eat and I go, oh, that's why. Yeah, okay.
Well, you're probably at this point in time getting tuned into some of the what do they call it? Intuitive eating.
Right.
And so you'll start to know that, and as long as you don't ignore it, because you can ignore it and force the issue with the body,
right,
which just leads you down a negative pathway. Yeah. But regardless, well, I'm glad you had such a positive experience. Thank you so much for this, and
oh, no problem.
We'll go get your adjustment done.
There you go.